Pathology of the biceps is far less common than most people think, although during arthroscopy, for instance, one can see very often degenerative changes. But the functional examination is more important than the findings during arthroscopy. For instance, if a patient has a real tendinitis of the long head of biceps, of the tendon of the long head of biceps, then you expect this patient to have a painful resisted flexion of the elbow. If it's a real tendinitis, but most of the times it is a tenosynovitis. It's the synovial sheath that's around the tendon that is inflamed or irritated. And in that case, you don't expect the patient to have a painful resisted flexion of the elbow. Well, so what we have to do is we have to add several tests. And for instance, we can test the function more in detail. The biceps is not only a flexor, but also supinates the forearm. So we can ask the patient to resist, or we can resist, flexion and supination. We can also stretch the tendon and also at the same time the tendon sheath by bringing the arm with the fixed scapula into extension of the elbow, extension of the shoulder, a little bit of abduction and pronation, because the function is flexion adduction of the shoulder, flexion of the elbow and supination of the forearm. So we do exactly the opposite movement. Fixate the scapula, and now we go till the very end and give some gentle overpressure, so to stretch the tendon and the tendon sheath. If this is not painful, we can also ask the patient to contract from this position. So we bring the arm in the stretch position and now ask the patient to make this movement, but you have to repeat it several times so that the patient really understands the movement. Can you make this movement? Yes, and the rotation, yes. One more time, and this. Very well. So, yes, can you do it one more time? Very good, and now I resist it. Well, if that is painful, okay, you know that there is something wrong with the tendon. Sometimes it's the tendon sheath itself that may be connected with or there may be adhesions between the tendon sheath and the tendon itself.